Good afternoon, BCS students. Fourth grade, we are teaching you history today. We are beginning a new chapter, chapter 14, the Midwest. We're going to be studying states like Ohio, Indiana, Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Illinois, Michigan, Minnesota, Kansas, North Dakota, and South Dakota. That's called the Midwest. Your worksheet today is 161. You will have read pages 332 to 344. Once you read those pages, turn the video back on. We'll do the worksheets together. If you notice on page 332, it's a timeline. We've talked about timelines before. This particular timeline gives you the date of when those states became states. So turn to page 161 after you've read the pages required. And you'll notice there's a map. The first state, number 1, is Indiana. I'm kind of partial to that state because I grew up there most of my life. And my adult children live there, and my 10, 11, 12 grandchildren, they're there. And so I'm partial to the state of Indiana. Number 2, take a look at that one and tell me what you think that one is. If you don't know, look at the map on page 334. Look at the shape, just like you would if it were a puzzle. And number 2 is Nebraska. Cornhusker state. Number 3, look on your map and tell me what you think that state is. If you don't recognize the initials, then you know you can look in the back of your book and it gives you all the states and their initials. Number 3 is Wisconsin. Number 4, Ohio. Number 5, look on the map on page 334. Michigan. Number 6, Kansas. Number 7, South Dakota. Number 8, Missouri. Number 9, Iowa. Number 10, Minnesota. Number 11, Illinois. Number 12, North Dakota. Now you say, why are you giving us the answers, Mrs. Rhodes? Because I'm not. You're supposed to pause that video, go do the worksheet, and come back and then grade it with me. Put the grade at the top, upload it so I can get it in the grade book. Now flip over to page 162. You notice that both of these pages say study guide, and it's right at the beginning of the chapter. So when you have a study guide at the beginning of the chapter, it's giving you an idea of what you're going to cover in that chapter that you're also going to see on the test. So once again, you have read pages 332 to 344, and you know how to use these books. You look for the bold print. You look for the word that you're trying to describe. What? Write true if the statement is true. If the statement is false, write the correction for the underlined word. Number 13, the Black Hills of South Dakota are called black because their slopes are covered with coal. Well, now that kind of sounds like it might make sense. So if I were just the kind of person that would just go to my worksheets first instead of reading, I might think that's true. However, if I am a person that knows you're supposed to read first, I'm going to go hunt through my book until I see the word South Dakota. And I know that I only have to go to page 344. And I am seeing on page 341, 1, 2, the third paragraph, right by the picture of Mount Rushmore. The Black Hills of South Dakota are another famous highland region. These hills are called black because of the trees covering their slope. So was it because of the coal? Nope. It's because of trees. So the correct answer there would be trees. The deciduous trees lose their leaves twice a year. Well, I don't want to just guess, so I'm going to look through my pages that I'm supposed to read until I see deciduous trees. Well, I'm already on page 345, and I only have to go to 344, and I haven't found the answer that direction, so I'm going to go back until I see the word deciduous trees. And I'm going to keep looking. Or I'm going to look up in the back of the book, deciduous. Right now, I have found it on page 338. All things bright and beautiful. The Midwest has a variety of plants and trees. The plains in the eastern part were once covered in deciduous forests. Deciduous trees are those that lose their leaves once a year. So our question was, deciduous trees lose their leaves twice each year. So is it true or false? It is false, and the correct answer is once. Manufacturing in the Midwest affects the nation's economy. Okay, so I don't see manufacturing on that page, so I'm going to turn, knowing that I've already read through here at least once, until I see manufacturing. And if I don't see it that direction, I'm going to go backwards. And my question is, manufacturing in the Midwest affects the nation's economy. So I see pictures of factories, which talks about Midwestern manufacturers. It says Midwest today still has an important influence on the whole nation. Page 337. The region's manufacturing companies affects the nation's economy. So that would be true. Number 16, reserves of waters that lie deep under the rich soil are called canals. Now, if you even guess, canals are something that's on top of the water, so we know this statement is not true. So if we go to page 335, in the middle of the first paragraph, windmills provide the energy to pump from aquifers. These reservoirs of water lie deep under the rich soil. Because of these improvements, farms have spread to high plains in the region. So reservoirs of water that lie deep under the rich soil are called aquifers. Storm cellars are rooms dug into the ground to give refuge to people from severe thunderstorms. That is true. In Wisconsin, scientists are protecting endangered whooping cranes in the city park. Is that true? Think about that one. You could probably find this faster than I can, knowing you've already read this once. In Wisconsin, scientists are protecting, if you go to page 339, second paragraph, many birds live in the Midwest. In a wildlife reserve in Wisconsin, scientists are protecting the endangered whooping crane. Now, parents, once again, if you're listening, you see how if they will just read the chapter once or the pages that it requires them to read, and then they go back over the bold print words, they'll be able to find the answers. All right, number 19. The Midwest states are often called America's farmland because they are located in the center of the nation. So think about something that would be in the center of the nation. Do you think it would be called farmland? I'm going to tell you that one is heartland. And I do want you to look that up yourself because I don't want to just give you answers. I want you to know where to look. And as you notice, these answers are not in a row. So you will have to go back and forth. But you look for the bold print words. You look for words that it's talking about. For instance, Midwest. I only know that it's called the Heartland because that's where I'm from. And if you go back to page 333, at the very first page of the chapter. That's why it's very important that you read every page that's listed on the bottom of your worksheet. So the states of the Midwest are often called America's heartland. They are located in the heart or the center of the nation. Okay? So they are also America's center of America's agriculture, but they're called the heartland. So 19 is heartland. Number 20, Mount Rushmore has the faces of 4 American Indians carved onto the rock. Is that true? You should know this from last week's lesson. That is not true. They are presidents, and you can find that on page 341. A river flows into a large body of water is a tributary. Tributary. Look for the word tributary. When you find the word tributary and learn that a river flows to it, you will know that that answer is true. Okay. 2 states that lie in Tornado Alley. The tributary answer is on page 334. The 2 states that lie in Tornado Alley are Michigan and Nebraska. Is that true? Now, I know you can look this one up because there's a picture of a tornado. I saw it. It says, many parts of plains are known for tornadoes. Arkansas and Nebraska lie in Tornado Alley. And as you can see, I know you can't see my book because I don't have the camera angled down, but I do not have those answers highlighted in my book. I have read this, of course, and then I'm having to go back through and look just like you do. And you see how quickly it happens when you're not sitting there complaining, I can't do this, I can't find that. When you just set your mind to finding the bold print words, finding the words that you're looking for, and set your mind to, I can do this. If I don't do it right the first time, I don't quit, I don't cry, I don't whine, I do it again. All right, number 23. Flat grasses in the Midwest that receive little rain have few trees are called marsh. We know that is incorrect because marshes are in Florida. So we're looking for a different word. The word you are looking for is prairie. You are looking for the word prairie. 24. Minnesota's Massabie Ranch is rich with gold ore. Minnesota's Massabie Ranch is rich with what kind of ore? We are running out of time, so I'm going to tell you that is iron. I do want you to find it on your own. It is in the pages that we were told to read. The last one, farmers can raise crops on arable land. Arable land, that is true. You need to, once again, do the grading. Upload the front and the back side for a grade. Keep that page open, study it, because I promise you some of those questions will be on your test. Thank you. That is your Heritage Studies for today's lesson.